Hi, I'm happy to share my portfolio starting with photography. Photography is what brought me into the arts. I like it because everybody can do it, and because when you look at a picture, the reaction you have is so quick before you can even really think. It's instinctual. I'm very attracted to light and shadow with strong contrast because it creates an emotional, immediate response. Mostly I don't set up pictures, but I'll share the one that I planned out. This is for an artist who wanted something about emotional endurance. We collaborated on expressing how hard COVID lockdown was and wanted to present that feeling of being worn out whilst trying to convince people not to lose hope. It needed to show strength, tension, and how we need to work together to get through life. Again, I use a strong contrast of light and shadow. The ring of a cloth shows the tension in trying to get every single drop out. I edited the image to be seen as floating in darkness. I also couldn't help but get involved in the protests of racial injustice, so I took pictures during that time. But again, I just shoot instinctively, except that I hope to point out the people that were behind the scenes or on the fringes of the protest, that are still impacted by the racial injustice, but just aren't marching. My purpose was to give a voice to people in the shadows. I do have one picture I'd like to share that does have process and is set up. I wanted to find a place of power and share my own symbolic gesture of unity and fighting and standing up against the establishment. A fist is strong. A fist holding a knife is powerful and threatening, but having the hand on the blade instead of pointing out makes you worry for the person holding it. It also makes the viewer cringe a little bit, so again, it was the emotional response that I hoped for. I enjoy painting. Many of my recent paintings are process sketches for my biggest art piece, which I call Caught in the Jaws of Life. I made Caught in the Jaws of Life to create a visual representation of my current emotional process. Soon I will be leaving home and going overseas to the Netherlands. Basquiat is very influential on my work. I enjoy not only his style but also his love for anatomy, which we share. I include the words "the Red City," which symbolizes New York City, and how I see the city as strong and unique, like the color red. I painted a train at the bottom of this piece to create a physical and metaphorical allusion to travel. I wrote in pastel at the bottom right corner the functions and abilities of crystals. They connect in almost magical yet ironically factual sense to this work. And finally, the central figure represents the overseer, the main character, and the focus. They are the one who's experiencing the trials and errors of life. My self-portrait, Passport, is an assignment for my portfolio course I took last summer. The purpose was to personify my love of travel. On my face there are colored skulls. The image of skulls are a very common theme found in much of my work. I know your school is really interested in the process and questions that occur when making art. However, I wonder about the focus of after such piece has been made, the process of transforming a static work into a functional, practical piece. Making still photographs isn't enough for me. I gravitate towards taking static art to the next level. I hope not to make something that's just left on a wall or left as decoration, but instead to serve an important part in everyday life. I see that after process as the true transformation aspect of design. Self-portraits are kind of difficult to make interesting by nature, so I needed to find a way to make mine unusual. I used unique light and shadow, such as using moonlight to illuminate myself instead of artificial light. I even used Vaseline on a picture frame.